Yeah, we got extensions like smack some dowel into your bars and extend them out. Like.
Dude. I feel like I'm so out of the scene with that whole, like, I don't know, just never really saw any of that comp stuff as much. You know what I mean?
True.
Like, I feel like I knew of you before I knew you.
Yeah.
Like I think you had a yellow bike or something at the time.
Had a few bikes.
But anyway.
Yeah.
We actually just started it.
Oh, nice.
What was it? 2020. The Wollongong Trails. What are they called?
Trail garden.
Trail Garden.
True. You had a
Oh,
yellow
wow.
bike there.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, me.
No, but I knew. Wait, in 2020.
Nah,
Oh,
that
2020
was
though.
2017.
Sure.
That 2017 was Trail Garden Jam.
Yeah, right. Okay.
That was when we had the good year.
Well, anyway, we're here. Backbone Zone back again. We got a special guest,
Yo.
Jonny Mackellar.
What's up, dude? I'd like to say
And
what
we've
up
got
to all
another
my
special
48 viewers.
guest who's off the side there, so you might hear us talking to someone. It's Danny Weaponhead Stevenson.
Stanny Stevenson.
Yes, but
Weapon spread.
Stoked to have you in town.
Yeah, thanks,
Yeah,
Dice.
it's
Psyched to be here. He's
Sick to.
definitely put me up like king.
I
fucking
don't
pretty
know.
awesome.
I don't know about that. No, it's good to finally I don't know, get you here, because I feel like every time you're here, you're kind of like in and out, or you're off doing your own thing and stuff like
Always,
that, which
yeah.
is cool.
Yeah,
But
no,
it's sick to, I don't know.
get involved, man.
Yeah,
like,
spend a bit more time
Yeah,
together.
fucking no. It's like, I guess I haven't really spent this much time since Fisher Shop. Last time I came down for like a Dane Jam or something.
Whoa.
Yeah, that was when I was doing shop hangs, really.
Yeah.
Had to hustle wrist for a set of fucking $50 Vans.
What?
Yeah,
Man.
He gave them to me. It was awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Man, I remember. I feel like it's two different. Like what we were saying before, Danny, about how, like, I don't know if it's just because of head injuries or what, but I feel like I can't remember serious amounts of time. But you've been just involved, like you've just been a part of the crew for so long. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
Like,
well, to be honest, I pretty much love Backbone more than any other fucking BMX company. It's pretty much like, I guess even like Newton's Nation and shit, when you gave me that bar and grill hat, that was like, could have fucking cried about it, you know? Like, I was this little kid, and the only fucking team I ever really wanted to rival was Backbone for like fucking 5 years straight, you know? And I guess I came down every Dane Jam I could, every opportunity that I
Yeah,
could.
that's
Tried
right.
to ride like an animal, and, you know, you just fucking got me there in the end. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah, well, that's definitely when we started. I felt like we got to be really good mates when you were coming down for Dane's Jam. You know what I mean?
Well, like everyone was doing ACT. Like, I didn't make an ACT Jam till 2017. I rocked up with a broken leg.
Yeah,
And
that's
even
right.
then, every other year before that, I'd just do the Dane Jam because I'd come ride jumps. Like, I didn't care for any of the skate parks, to be honest. They all scared the hell out of me riding concrete.
Yeah, but I feel like when because you were coming down for Dane's Jam, we got to be mates then. Obviously, you'd been to Will's, a few times and stuff like that as well. But then prior to that, you were riding Newton's Nation, which is I was looking at photos on my computer at home, and it's like 2010 or something. So it's like a long time ago. 12 years ago.
Ages, so long ago.
Which then, like, I don't even know. Which then puts me in a weird position, because then I'm like, fuck, how old is Johnny? You know what I mean? Like,
Yeah. Well, I'm 27. I'm about to be 28 soon. And I really hope I make it out of 27. You know, me and Janice would hang out otherwise.
yeah.
But no.
Wow,
yeah.
27. So that means 2010, you were, what? Does that mean 12 years ago you were 15?
Yeah. Yep.
Far out, dude.
Yeah. Yeah. I was born 94. So.
Yeah. And you were riding that good. I feel like that was the bike that you were talking about earlier this week when we were speaking. You were riding the maybe Black Sunday with the gold sticker. Is that right?
Yeah, I think Newton's Nation, the rooster frame just turned up that they just made, which is
okay.
like that R&D dude that kind of put some stuff into it, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, that comp was nuts. I did the biggest 3-off I've ever done in my life there. I haven't done one that big since.
Yeah, wow.
But yeah, they were cool comps, just dirt comps. Like, there's no really dirt comps anymore, you know? Like,
yeah.
it's a pretty hard thing to organise, / fair bit of fun, and / got to play weather. It's like, I guess there was enough dirt comps back in the day that everyone just played the risk.
Yeah.
Like, the last dirt comp that looked like was going to do something decent was Sydney X Games, and other than that, a flop. Like,
yeah, that's
people
right.
who jump one jump, pretty much.
Yeah, I feel that was like when I guess that's kind of what I'm getting at. So like when I met you, it was actually when you were probably, if we're talking you were 15 Newton's Nation, you must have been bloody young when you were riding Camsham.
Yeah, that was 09. Yep.
Yeah.
09 was my first year, which was after the Melbourne BMX games. Like,
Yeah.
got my ankle jacked on that. Too fucking scared to jump the jumps. Dad had Dadsy fucking hit Cam White up like, go give him some pointers. He needs it. He's freaking the fuck out. You know? And I got up there. I got Cam White telling me how to jump the jumps. I fucking eat shit. Feel like this dickhead. Go ride the park comp. Come like 86, and then it's just like, what the fuck? And then luckily the weekend after, I got to jump the biggest jumps I've ever jumped in my life.
Yeah.
Feel like a legend. It's awesome shit.
Was that something that you ever, like with the comp thing? Because that's when you were always this dude, right, that looked like you just rode jumps and had like good style and things like that. But then you were riding these comps and doing all these crazy tricks, like the big Superman seat grabs and things like that.
Yeah.
And I remember thinking, well, this kid's like, I do a lot of blowing smoke up people's asses, but like at the time,
cool. I would love it.
I was like, dude, this kid's a prodigy. You know what I mean? Like,
yeah, geez,
I was tripping on how good you were at the time. Obviously, you're still really good now, so there's no worries there. But I feel like you were almost the same as how when BMX. We were just talking about it just the other day. We were watching. You were watching X Games, and then last night we were watching Elevation and stuff like that. It's almost like the last period of when dirt comps were like
very raw and very common.
Yeah,
like dirt, park, street, all that stuff was like they're all even. There was nothing that prevailed, and you could ride everything because all the bikes weren't necessarily having such niches that like. You wanted to just ride street because you're fucking trying to jump a jump on your bike felt like ridiculous because you're like you sort of thing. Like bikes could kind of handle every sort of genre you kind of could throw at them. But I guess it's seems a bit different now. I guess like I guess that's kind of why I still just run a setup from back and like try to pretty much give it a view like it's from 03, you know, like watching Mike Aiken in 03 is probably the best thing you'll ever see. So might as well try and set up a bike similar to it.
Yeah, that's true. Your bike setup's definitely sick for one, but it's like crazy how unique it can be, but yet it's not even that weird. It's not weird, but it's like, you know what I mean? You just run an 8.25 bars, which everyone was running, and I remember that was huge bars.
That was the biggest bar you'd have. Like,
that's right.
Grand Slam turned up, and you're like, what the fuck? Dane's chucking the dowel in the side, widening her up.
Yeah, that's exactly
Big set of hangers.
For some reason, we all just jumped into way taller bars.
Oh, just old people loved having nice backs. You know, they've been riding small bars for so long. Everyone's like, wow, why didn't we just keep putting them up?
Yeah, I changed to 9-inch bars, and I feel like that's small for today's.
It pretty much
preference.
is kind of.
You know what I mean?
Well, at least it's pretty average size. Like,
yeah, I remember when I had
I've run 9, so that's probably about as big as I got. Like,
I ran 8.5s. I had 8.5 tree bars, and then I remember when I got 9-inch bars, and I seriously felt like I was just gonna like backflip off the jumps at the trails. I just remember feeling like it was the wildest thing ever.
Can you pull it up real quick? I don't know. It's right there, but I feel like I run out of room in my elbows too fast
to pull
up. Yeah, like, you know, I'm like, I'm maxed out. I could have like another 2 inches there. You know, like,
yeah, it makes sense. Like, I remember reading.
Very nimble over the front too. You can turn real quick. And ride something pretty small on a bike that's probably not necessarily for riding something real small. Yeah. And it's just being over the front a bit.
Do you run 21 1/4?
Yeah, 21 1/4. That's like something I've just kind of. I went in 21.5 CCR, which was really fun, but then, I guess I do love riding the gutter a bunch, so it's like, riding the gutter, it's like, had to love the frame to ride the gutter, you know, you really had to just love it, you know, where this just suits fucking everything I want to do. Like, it just seems much more accessible to just, you know, do that sort of stuff. Yeah,
for sure. Yeah, it's definitely cool to see that, you know, like to see that you haven't just, you kind of just like, 8.25 bars, that's what I want to run because that's how it feels best for me. You know, you're not just stacking on the inches.
I've like chop them off to the point now where I'm like thinking front loads down and I'm like, actually, no, you know what, you're actually going to get a bit too low now. You're really going to start getting a bit too low at the front. Yeah. But, not bad. Like, ran slams for ages. Like,
Yeah.
It really did. And they looked so fucking cool.
Yeah.
Like, I just felt like all the bends in them. It's just like, I don't know. Maybe it's just because I was watching everyone riding the slams back in the day, because it was like, oh, look at that big bars.
They're definitely the bar that is the just that super nice shape and size, eh?
Yeah, because before I went anything over 8, I was like on the Behringers, which were like 775 or something.
Crazy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Like, I guess, that was still pretty like available at the time, though.
Yeah.
Like before everything started getting pretty up there.
Yeah.
But no.
First set of bars I ran Behringers.
Yeah,
Behringer
sick.
bars?
Yeah.
And the Jim Selinsky pedals as well, which you're running.
Yeah. Hard to say no to them.
Yeah, the Gym C's, dude. I remember going to Old Strictly in Camberwell.
Yeah.
And I took 2 trains to get there
Yep.
with the purpose of buying Gym C's, get there, and the only ones they've got are purple.
Well, I'm pretty sure the only ones
But
you can
that's
like.
it. If you can't get it in whatever colour, you just get what you get.
Yeah,
you know
yeah,
what I mean?
fully.
Like,
You get on the Google these days and find someone on eBay. All you're gonna find is probably yellow and purple.
Yeah.
Like, or in like a brown or something. Like,
yeah.
all the actual G colors are gone. You probably only got loose balls sitting around left unless you're
Yeah.
a collector. Like,
I feel like that's the sick thing about BMX. Like when I went over to PA, I felt like it still had that vibe where dudes were just buying, like they'd be running like if you watch those old Caddy Woods videos,
yeah,
and they've got a bike and then like they've got like a freaking green stem or like they've got like some random color part,
yeah,
and it has that vibe. Like I just went to my local BMX shop and got what I could get. You know what I mean? Whereas now, I mean, obviously it's cool that there's so much choice, but I still love that feeling. Even though I own a BMX shop, I love the feeling of going in and just seeing what is available and then just being like, oh, fuck, like orange, yeah, whatever, I'll get that. Like,
man, you go into the right BMX shop,
and then
you
you're
can
trying to
convince
mess
me
around
for
with the
anything.
way your bike looks, just to sort of like play to that color for a bit. Like, I'm into purple pedals.
Yeah, so
I'll run purple
I
pedals.
found
I
that
like
C
it.
clamp that was purple too, and everything matches. Like.
Yeah. I just love that. Like, and it's interesting now that it's like, I think that's kind of lost in a way. You don't get to.
People have just exactly what they want. It's like every.
Well, you're just looking for it online. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So it's like, oh, this is what there is. They're available in everything. So like,
yeah. Well, you got like.
Why would I bother?
It's like, dude, you can just keep searching different BMX shops till you find the color you want.
Yeah, that's
and
right.
then pretty much any of them are going to send something to you these days.
Yellow Pages?
I'm not that good at reading.
Dude, I never went to Yellow Pages, but I definitely rang up bike shops to see if they had stuff. Or mainly just to see if they could repair BMX
Dude,
bikes.
that's Dukes of Hazzard's as. It's like, I can't find it. Phone book it is. Whip her out, I can start scrolling through, find something.
Man, this is a pretty silly story, but when I think I must have been like 16, probably even 17, and I lived in country town in Broadford.
Yeah.
And the closest bike shop was in Seymour, where we stopped, where Troy did that front flip on that Victoria trip.
Yeah, that was awesome.
And
got all those scooter kids put their scooters in the bin.
That's right. Yeah, that was sick.
Yeah.
And anyway, I went in and I ran 48s. I actually ran a 48s like flip-flop Odyssey Hazard wheel.
Yeah, true.
But I got them to change all the nipples out to alloy nipples.
Yeah,
from brass, just because I thought it would lighten my bike up. It cost me fucking heck.
Yeah,
I don't even know how much it cost me, but like only because I'm reading like BMX Plus and it's like 10 ways to lighten your bike without buying a new frame or whatever. And this is the era when stuff was fairly heavy. You know,
people are like cutting shit out. Like you look at Easton back in the day, they're like,
I
we'll get rid of the top
money.
tube,
I spent all this money, and it took like a couple of weeks, a few weeks for my wheel to get done. Like by these dudes that didn't even really like. I probably never even laced a 48 whole wheel ever, and they're like asking me to, I don't know, replace things that didn't even need to be replaced. So funny. But that's kind of a good random segue, because your brother owns a BMX shop up in Queensland, Blue Groove, which is super sick.
Yeah, fucking raw as you can get, to be honest.
Yeah, raw.
The hustle's real. When
that's
it gets
right.
to the Blue Groove, man.
Yeah, and I love that. Like obviously we've spoken about how your brother owns Blue Groove and you're working at the shop there, and
Yep.
you know, you're coaching up in Queensland and things
Yep.
like that, and people would maybe get the impression, maybe they would, maybe they don't even think about it, but you know, we don't see that as something where it's like competition, you know. Like, in fact, I love the fact that Blue Groove does that.
Yeah, it's kind of it's unreal. It makes it just a safe place for me in every regard. Like,
Yeah.
you know what I mean? I'm like so happy to push it. You know, you pump shit up on your gram. You know, it's not like I'm
That's right.
beating, like stitching anyone up. Like,
Exactly,
I ride for
yeah.
Backbone. I work for the Groove. Like,
Yeah.
my
Yeah,
brother
that's
owns
it.
the Groove. I
Yeah.
also ride for my family as much as I ride
Exactly,
for the homies,
yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah, I love that. Like, I love like Johnny's wearing a Blue Groove one-off jacket right now, you know, like
Correct.
that's what's
You know,
so sick about it. Like,
we go to the op shop to check our blank shirts are around, and I go, Petey, I really need a jacket for Canberra. Cost $10. I don't really have $10. I'm trying to save $10. So I got $10 for Canberra, you know. And I'm like, get me that jacket. I'll print on it and I'll wear it down there the whole time.
yeah,
And yeah,
Got
that's
it
how I got a
done,
jacket,
yeah.
you know.
I think that's what's so, you know, like having that vibe. Like, I've spoken to your brother a few times over the phone, and it's just been sick to sort of, we're just both playing for the same team, and
Yeah,
the team
well,
is
it's
BMX, you know what I mean? Like, we're
you know,
trying to,
there's shops
we're
around
just
Australia.
trying to make BMX as sick as we can, and the only way we know how, at least, I mean, I'm speaking for your brother a little bit, but we're just like, let's just get as many people stoked on BMX as we can.
100%.
Young kids, old dudes, whatever it is.
100%.
And, like,
like,
and I love that your brothers, like, and you are hustling, but in a good way. You're hustling in a way.
like the hustle to keep
let's do
providing, to be
coaching,
honest.
yeah,
Like,
that's
all-
right.
Every time we're hustling for anything is just so we can do more with the shop, to be honest, because like if we stop hustling it shuts up.
Yeah,
That's just
that's
how it's
right,
gonna
man.
go,
It's
so
not a, it's,
coaching puts some money in our back pockets, and the shop pretty much pays for the shop at this point, you know. Like,
yeah, and that's
then,
all. I think people can get a bit of a, you know, a little bit of a wrong impression as to how BMX shops run, but at least for me, or for, you know, for Backbone and for Blue Groove, I feel like as long as we can just keep make BMX sick for week after week and keep the lights on, then that's all there is. You know, that's
like,
what it is about. You know, like a BMX.
Well, there's no like salt behind it. Where like
That's right.
Pete's trying to organise a fucking road trip to come down for ACT Jam this year, like with as many of his groovers as he can fit in that whatever bus he's trying
with
to
his
conjure.
groovers, how sick's that?
Yeah, with all the groovers, and then it's like, yeah, you know, like I would love for you to be like any of you to be able to make it up for a Sumner's Jam or any of the events I get to put on, you know. So
Yeah.
it's like more notice the better for any of them too.
Yeah.
And now the fucking world's going back to normal, even though we're living in 2022, which is cooked. It's the future,
Yeah.
fully in the future.
Fully in the future.
Yeah, man. People just like can check their bank account off their phones.
Yeah.
You have to go to the bank, right? Like, I was gonna go to the bank for that. Like I can see what my mates are up to. I don't have to go rock up in front of their house.
Yeah,
Throw
man.
a rock at their window and just hope it doesn't break. Like,
It's definitely a different world, eh?
yeah, like, especially hearing like little like the kids, especially the kids. They just like, you know, like they can. I guess it makes it maybe easier for them, but at the same time, I feel like the phones can make it really easy for everyone to cancel.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, you don't have a phone. It's like you can't cancel. You have to pretty much rock up, or you look like a no-show. You don't want to do that.
For sure, yeah.
You're gonna have to really like go to their place the next morning after like the situation you had to deal with, and nearly apologize, you know, or you rock up the next afternoon and they'll understand because that's just how it went. Like,
Yeah. It's a different world. Definitely cool in some ways, but in other ways it can be
because man, like we all sit there scrolling through Instagram fucking day in day out, but at the same time, how fucking awesome is half the shit you get to see on there?
Yeah,
You know, like I can get it, like, you know, as long as you mute the right people and you don't unfollow the right guys, you can just sit there and get fully stoked on it, not bummed on it. Like, it can really go both ways.
Yeah, you can. Riss says that all the time. You know, like how often do you get to see all these sick trail spots across the world?
Correct, and that was so hard to find.
Like you would never sit, and you know everything was all a myth or hearsay or things like that, and that's exciting in its own right, but it's also pretty cool to get daily stoke, you know.
Yeah, fully. And it's just like a way to I don't know of people, so that there's people that you actually want to meet.
Yeah.
And like we don't have a magazine anymore. We can keep flicking through them, but like half those dudes are like dads and 40 now.
Yeah.
You know? Like,
to add some 40.
Yeah.
It's quickly approaching, Johnny.
Yeah, I know.
Well, I've got one. I've got 1 out of 2. 50% success rate.
Yeah, hell yeah. Not bad. Not bad.
I'll drink to that.
Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Is there any other places that you've seen that you have been to, or that you would like to go to, based on footage that you've seen, or
Footage that I've seen, yeah, 100%. Weeks has showed me so much of the UK, and getting to meet a lot of the main dudes over it when I got to go to La Source in 2018. That is pretty much, I guess, at the end of 2019, everyone to shit, and I've had a couple, bit of a bumpy road around that zone, so it was not necessarily a traveling bug for me around 2008, at the end of, mainly 2019. Then the whole world went to shit, so it's not like any of that's really ever happened.
yeah.
So, but yeah, the UK pretty much just for the funniest motherfuckers ever, and just like the most epic jumps that you barely even know of. Like,
Yeah.
they ain't really over. Like, if you know who you're like looking for, like you can definitely get a big glimpse of the scene over there. But
Yeah.
if you don't know what's happening, man. Like,
Yeah.
and like it's pretty cool, kind of like.
Yeah.
Makes it
yeah.
exciting for the idea of when I do get over there, I'll be like, these cunts got 100 jumps. And then there's a spot 2Ks that way that's got another 100 jumps. Like, this is nuts, And
Yeah.
like, yeah, the fits over there are very solid, like, especially Woodyard and stuff like that. I'd love to go there. I'd love to, just go and hug Matt Priest and then just watch my jaw drop for like ages and just wait and see if he's actually gonna like, talk to me back. It'd be crazy, like, it'd be insane. But yeah, I don't know. UK is probably a big one for me.
Yeah.
Like, America's awesome, but I don't know. Yeah, it'd be awesome. It would be. It'd be epic. It'd be so epic. Of course, it'd be epic. But yeah, it's
Yeah.
not,
Too
I'm not
much.
super keen.
Too much in their own
Too
backyard.
much happening on there. Like, I'm pretty happy to just do my own thing constantly.
Yeah.
anyway.
Yeah.
Hang
For
out with the
sure.
dudes.
Yeah, that's sick, man. Yeah, it's there's definitely a lot of places, but at the same time, it's so funny. Like, we're talking about going to Young. And I
Yep.
mean, you came down from Queensland to go to Young, which is obviously
You got
happening.
me down from Queensland. Just put me in Young.
Yeah, yeah.
Fucking epic. Oh yeah, quick shout out to On the Bone for getting me down here and put me on this thing and doing all that shit. Because yeah, all those kids out there, if you're watching, you love a company heaps. You like heaps. You ride like a fucking ox. You build more shit than everyone else. And one day, some set of legends and some company you really like might put you on and put you in a place that you really want to be, and yeah, like, it took me to 27 necessarily, but we're here now and I'm fucking having a ball. Like,
Yeah, man.
I mean, I wipe the smile off my face, can barely sleep, can barely eat, like, it's been unreal.
Yeah, it's sick
It's been
having you
pissing
down.
rain, it's been
I know,
shitty
it's
weather
been
for 3 days.
horrible
and I'm still
weather.
fucking smiling.
Oh,
It's
Canberra's
insane.
putting it on. Canberra
Yeah.
is putting on the show. No, what I was getting at is like, we're about to go to Young on the weekend, which is really sick. Will Kerr, big shout out. Looking forward to seeing him.
Legendiest legend.
But
He's got legenditis, I heard, too, actually,
Oh,
which is
mate.
pretty bad.
Yeah,
Like,
that's
cripples
right.
a lot of y'all. Like, poor bastard.
yeah, but
Hopefully he fixes that,
it's so funny because he's got like this banging, scene that he's created himself. But yeah, I can't help but think about how I want to just stay here for the weekend, try and get the trails running, which is kind of where I'm getting. What I'm getting at is like, it's so funny. You think about all these things that you could go and do in the rest of the world, but there's so much to do just at home and doing stuff. And
yeah.
like, I see that with you, you're always putting on, like, if you don't have something to ride, you're probably building it. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
and that's
Well,
what's so sick about
100%. Like,
what you're doing.
someone's got to do it, and like, I'm fucking better than most other cunts at doing it, so I'll keep doing it. Like,
yeah.
Yeah.
For
And yeah, I
sure.
enjoy it still probably more than everyone else when I get to ride your own shit. Like,
Yeah.
ever since you built your first jump, you understand that like sending that for the first time is fucking exciting, man. Like,
Yeah.
could go wrong, like usually does, especially being the first jump. Like,
Yeah.
so yeah, it's just the same principle with different things, Like, I nearly built a legit ramp for the first time, quarter pipe. Nearly, like the whole bottom was like a makeshift ramp that we built the rest of the top on.
Oh, yeah.
And like, yeah, that's the one out the front of the groove. And I was
Oh,
like,
sick.
wait a minute, like, besides probably Turley's Bud Gun ramp out the back of his Maruka place that I just assisted with, like, I've never actually built a proper quarter pipe.
Yeah.
But in saying that, I've concreted a bunch of random shit and built more jumps than I can remember. So it's like, yeah, it's pretty awesome for that.
Yeah. Yeah, it's definitely a cool feeling. Like, even just being around, like I've just been around and helped out with building ramps and stuff like that because I'm not the most dialed dude on the tools, not like Danny and the crew, but you know, like it's sick to just be a part of that. It's like it's like the YouTube dude that we were watching last night, that Primitive Technologies dude, like he just makes it happen.
Yeah, fucking knows.
And
like,
it's the same principle.
Yeah,
you know what I mean? You
that's
make
right.
if you want something bad enough in BMX, like you want to ride a quarter and you don't have a quarter, you'll figure that shit out as to how to build it. And yeah, it might
fucking
not
knows
happen
there might be a random
perfect.
bit of like dirt cliff that's like two streets
Dude.
away, that's like, you know, a 6 foot bit of kind of dirt that's fallen down on the road and a bit of grass growing on it, and if you go put your shovel in that, it could take you 2 hours if you'd like half know what you're doing, and you got like crazy hip just down the road.
Yeah.
Slowly turn everything into Tony Hawk's Pro Skater 2.
Exactly, yeah. I did that same. Like when I moved back to Broadford, so I lived in Canberra for a bit, and then I moved back.
Yeah.
And I still just had that BMX track that you saw when we were there on that Vic trip. Like, I didn't have. I mean, I could definitely drive to parks and stuff like that, but I was like, man, I want to ride a quarter, and you just try and build it. Like, yeah, I just built it out of dirt. Like, I mean, we had like some concrete stuff. We actually concreted onto the backs of berms. I think I was telling that to you. But we concreted quarters onto backs of berms, and that was not good. But like,
you could still
you could ride them, and the thing is, if you don't have anything to compare it to, you're like, best quarter ever.
Fucking knows,
you know, it's either this or you're not riding nothing. Like, so
exactly.
you may as well like make it happen.
Yeah,
so,
exactly.
Yeah, I like that. I've definitely been seeing, you know, I know this about you is that you just always seem to be doing something, building something out of a pallet or
well, like you can, like, especially riding street for me, like I'm trying to find, you know, like the random bit of steel, random bit of plywood to put on that curb so I can jump off that curb over onto that thing over there. Like, you don't, like, spots are definitely provided depending on what city you're in, but you can pretty easily make shift up some stuff and ride something that you've always wanted to ride just by using a bit of your head. Like, you know, really make it happen.
Yeah, that's what we were doing last night.
Yeah, 100%.
I was like, I was pretty like, I don't really tend to. Oh, I mean, everyone does it. We go and find something to like make a spot a little bit better. But I was pretty sick yesterday. We went street riding, and you found like a grate, or not even a grate. It was like a storm door, like a checker plate.
Checker plate. Yeah. Fully, it was just checker plate random bit. Because originally I went to pick it up, and I was like, because it was real heavy, I was like, oh, it's not moving. I'm like, oh, nah, it's free. And I was like, fuck yeah, that's the bit. That's all I needed. Because I saw those shady dudes walk into the job site, and I was going to hit them up for just a random bit of ply. Like, hey, he's got any bits of shitty something, you know? Like, and then, like, even then, I come and watch you do your hop over the rail too, which is pretty mad.
Oh, really? Man,
one of them was
classic.
just watching, and I was like, oh shit, like, don't put the pressure on, you prick. Like, I was like, that was a gnarly fucking hop, and I was just scared the thought of it. So it's pretty funny.
Yeah, man.
But and then I guess come up on the steel.
Yeah,
we got the trick done. You know, sick spot full of graffiti and shit. Looks fucking awesome.
Yeah, for sure.
And it was pissing down rain. Still managed to get some jumps in. Like, don't always get to do that, but Canberra put it on, you know. Managed to ride around enough spots.
Put it on in some ways, not in other ways. Though,
turn it off in a couple of hours.
Turn it off in a few weather.
And saying that, they did turn it off, turn the weather off, so we did get to go.
Yeah, very true. Very true. Yeah, so what's happening in Queensland at the moment? How's the scene?
Always heaps. The
in
scene
Brizzy.
Brizzy, Brizzy's always pretty mad.
That's where you're living, right?
Yeah, Brizzy's my zone. Yeah, I'm West Brizzy to South Brizzy. Yeah. Fairfield, Maruka boys out to Jindalee, you know.
Yeah,
that's my guys. But we got a fairly tight crew that does it. Like, most of them work for Lux at this point, which is pretty funny. But it's pretty awesome. Like, we get to. When everyone gets together, like, the jams are so epic. Like, I might not ride with many of those dudes very often, but then all of a sudden, like, luckily we have enough jams that you do get to ride with everyone often. Like, you know, we can have 4, like, might only seem like 4 jams a year doesn't sound like much, but when they're 4 pretty sick ass jams, let alone, you know, the sessions around it and whatever else has possibly happened, / the travel down here and stuff, like, you get to hang out with a lot of BMXs through your life, you know, like, especially being in it for long enough, like Danny I met, like, you know, 15 years ago probably, something like that. Like, pretty nuts. And it's just like the amount of, like, I feel like I know Australia's not necessarily the most massive place in the world, but in saying that, it's a fucking full-blown country of like 4 million plus.
Yeah,
And at
that's
the same time, I feel like I still got a grip on most scenes in most nooks, just due to the amount of time I've spent riding my bike around different cities and / sitting around Brizzy and waiting for dudes to turn up. Like,
yeah.
like, yeah, you get to meet so many people and like yeah, to be honest, I met that many people for so long that when I first moved to Maruka in South Brisbane, I actually really at that point my van pretty much ran out of rego, and I just loved going to the pub, like the 3 or 4 pubs I got on the way home from work. But I'd get to Maruka every afternoon, and I pretty much just had all these oldies. Like me doll Sue, she never let me pay for a beer, and it killed me. It was actually really tough because she was a beautiful doll. And yeah, I just had like 50-year-old people that I'd go and hang out with in the afternoon for an hour.
Yeah, right.
And have a couple of beers, and I didn't talk BMX for a second, you know?
Yeah,
Because
that's
like,
sick.
especially when you're always just like, I feel like I fucking love it more than everyone else. And like, doesn't mean I'm better than everyone else, but I fucking love it more, and that's like my one thing. But it's like getting a quick breather for a second, just talking to people not about BMX was actually like something I didn't realize I actually needed so much. Because yeah, like, you know, cruising, you're just driving around, you see a gutter that's got a bit extra lip than usual, and you start thinking about what you can do on that, and then that's still it for 5 minutes before you see the next one. Then you're actually just thinking about BMX 24/7, which is mad. But unfortunately, there's a lot of politics and shit that can frustrate people in certain zones, and
Yeah.
you just do want the breather so you can just continue loving it for the whole life. / also trying to figure out how to ride so you can ride for your whole life.
Yeah.
Like, fuck, I've broken like everything. Like, fuck, feels like I've broken everything, you know? Like, and I guess I don't know where the pain is half the time. Like, I know it's definitely the elbow right now on my left ankle because it's cold, but yeah, like, it's 100% worth it. I just got to try and figure out how to keep all that at bay so I can do it till I'm 50 or whatever. Like,
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, so with the not talking BMX for a bit, like, because I have that now too, I feel like I have like a different love for BMX, so pure to me at the moment, but at the same, well, not at the moment, or I always have like a deep love for BMX, but right now I'm going through a stage in my life where when I'm in it, it feels so great to do, and I don't tend to consume a lot of BMX. Like, you know, I don't really look at too much BMX on Instagram and things like that. Not to say that I don't look at it, but I don't look at as much as what I would.
Oh man, I said,
you know, like, I'm not watching heaps of BMX videos. I'm not like,
you got to break it up enough just so, because if it's just 100% the only thing you got, it's gonna nearly exhaust you.
Yeah, I just feel like when I'm riding, and it can be coaching, it can be riding around the street like what we did the other day.
Yep.
It just feels so like that's the BMX that I just love so much, and that it feels so pure that I almost don't need to watch it.
Well, that
like,
BMX to me is like, because I ride shit tons by myself.
Yeah.
I mean, I build shit tons by myself, and even like riding by yourself, you know, you go ride 3 stairs and like you can do a bunch of stuff on 3 stairs, but you know, you ain't gonna just go ride 7 to 10 by yourself necessarily all the time, you know, like you don't want to do that. So it's like, my longevity of BMX is just figuring out, I don't know, you know, you feel it. You feel it when you're like, I'm sending it. Today's the day. We're doing that shit that we've been thinking about for ages because you got your special up, adrenaline's pumping, boys are there, everything's happening. You pick your days, you wait for it all to just feel correct, and that way you're not just jumping the gun and just getting wrecked constantly.
Yeah, for sure.
The time off, like, kills me. Like, to the point that, like, when I busted my elbow down in Northcote in Melbourne, like, I had 2 weeks off my bike, started riding again. Like,
right.
I was just like, I dealt with the pain instead of the pain of not riding, because it was just like a much more satisfying feeling.
Too addicted.
Yeah, pretty much. Like, I could still do foot plants and do a few things that like could feeble slide gutters for fucking 15 meters all of a sudden. You know, like, I could only do it for 5 before. Like, and if I didn't break my elbow and slow everything down for a smidge, then like I wouldn't have learned to do feeble slides on gutters for so long. You know? Which now turned into back pedals. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
sure. Wow.
Just everything like.
That's cool.
Yeah, like that was actually crazy for Sydney, because just Sydney itself is like, it's got a lot of beveled edge brick. Got a bunch of little things that you don't need pegs for, / pegs won't really want to slide on a whole lot. And then, it really just opened up street riding a lot for me, and realising that I can just put my tyres anywhere. I don't have to put anything else anywhere. Like, it makes it really enjoyable. Like,
that's cool.
Yeah.
With I don't know if you want to get into this or not.
Go
It's
on.
totally up to you. But you said in 2019 you were going through some shit, and I really asked. So I always felt like maybe you were, and I never really reached out to you.
Yep.
And I felt like I probably should have, because Riss and I spoke in the shop a little bit about it, and I
Yep.
wish we had did that. But obviously is everything all good now? What was
everything's pretty mad now. Like
Yeah.
everything's always pretty up and down. Like always just through injuries and whatnot. So every time it's just time off my bike. Like what was 2019? I swear 2019. So we had the irritable bowl jam.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, irritable bowl jam, which was IBS jam or whatever. And that was at Fairfield Skate Park. Sick. Built all the shit at the place across like the 100 meters away, Cleveland place. We shipped it all over there, and it was awesome. And at that point, my wrist was still broken. Had no idea. Like scaphoid was just a piece of shit. And
How'd you break your wrist? Sorry to go off topic for a second.
Oh, actually, this one's mad. Did a 900 first go, landed 800, and went straight to my arm. Went, oh, that's real bad. Yeah, I tried 900. My adrenaline was like fucking 180%. You know, like I was through the roof. It's like, all right, next go. Get real close to this weird twist out. Didn't land on the wrist, which was like scared of. And then third go, nailed it. And then really just didn't get to ride for a month and a half after that. Like,
yeah, right.
Yeah,
Wow.
like just not knowing that it was broken at the time. The adrenaline was just so pumped.
Holy shit.
Got the
broken wrist 900.
broken wrist 9. So yeah, pretty cool.
That was in Have Fun.
Yep.
Yeah.
That was the end-to-ender for that one.
James Fox's video.
Yep. Which is
cool.
it's pretty rad. Like I'm guessing Matt Hoffman's probably done like 20 broken wrist 900s, so it's like not a massive deal or whatever. But at least me and Matt Hoffman got one thing in common. That's pretty fucking cool. Me and the
sick.
Godfather get to hang out in heaven one day.
Yeah, Matt would be stoked.
Yeah, but
Dude, that's sick.
So pretty much I then re-broke it again because it nearly healed up and was in a weird spot. Scaphoids are a strange injury. They got a lot of blood flow running through that bone. So if you're piss heavy and smoke heavy, it really thins out your blood a lot. So it really makes it tough for it to heal. So I ended up still filming for Have Fun. Actually, it was one of the first times I did a lot of filming with Tim Story. And he came out to Sumners, and it was just doing a 3 look back, which is an oppo 3 look back for me. It's a bit of a hard trick, and like took me a few goes, and I just had one. I just landed on my wrist, and I was like, just looked at it, and I was like, man, it feels the same as that other time, but there's less adrenaline now because I've been riding for a bit. I'm like, and then pretty much just dealt with that for nearly a year and a half.
Oh,
which
wow.
then because I rode like this wrist would bend down, and this wrist just always stayed straight. Which is funny because that's still why I ran brakes. Because once I then I guess we have to do the story right. Irritable bowel syndrome, pretty much. Bowl syndrome. We built this crazy vert wall. We're all having a mad session. Everyone's like, it was actually an epic day. And then I just shut it down. Shut the day down. Tried a 5-bar on the vert wall thing. And then I managed to break my right ankle and dislocate my right elbow at the same time.
Oh, shit.
And the dislocation was definitely the only time I've ever told a doctor 10 out of 10 pain, 10 out of 10 pain, 10 out of 10 pain. And they're like, look, we can't give you any more like morphine or green whistle. Once the people that have had this car crash stop dying, you're the first person in. Like, we understand that elbow dislocations are borderline, like, not supposed to happen in that joint. Like, it's too tight and, like, to do that, you put a ridiculous amount of pressure on there. But yeah, I pretty much just had to deal with that, which was a boot on the right leg, cast on the right arm, and then I was crutching around with one crutch.
Oh my God.
And then I got to the point where I could barely crutch anymore because the pain in my wrist was too much.
Yeah.
And then once I went, like a month and a half later, luckily the dislo had only the smallest fracture in it, which was kind of lucky. And then the ankle kind of healed up pretty decent. I went back to get my results of like how everything's going, and I was like, my left wrist hurts too much. Like, it hurts heaps. Like, the amount of pressure I put on, like, I don't know what's going on. And then they come back out and they go, yeah, we're pretty concerned. I'm like, oh shit, what's going on? Is the elbow all right? It's like, I know it's nearly straight. Like, is everything okay? And they're like, oh yeah, elbow and ankle, sweet man. You need surgery on your wrist. Like,
oh really?
If you don't get surgery on your wrist soon, you're gonna have arthritis in like 2 years. It's like crippling.
Wow.
And I was like, oh, alrightos. So pretty much booked a surgery in for like 3 months later, which was the strangest situation ever because I've always just had borderline emergency surgeries because it's like everything's broken, got to put it back in spot so it can heal. So I was waiting, and then they sped it up. And then, yeah, even then they said there's a 50-50 chance of your wrist actually healing. You have to not drink, you have to not smoke, you have to do absolutely everything by the book, or it ain't going to work, and you're not going to be able to do any of your shit again. And yeah, I was probably the best boy I ever was, which was actually probably the most mind-clearing thing I could have happened, which was fucking camping started out of that.
Yeah,
Like
sure.
I ended up just doing drawing with, with my available hand and trying to come up on something to do in the meantime. And,
oh, wow.
and that killed a bunch of the time. Like Mason and the Cleveland dudes, like they had a couple screens at the time and they showed me how to do everything. And then I just kind of cottoned onto a dude that helped me out with some shirts and some screens, which just made all that happen pretty fast. But yeah, then the wrist actually bends better than this one now.
Yeah, right.
They ended up having to bone graft off my hip, grind back a bit of the shit, stick her in there, weld her up, put a screw through it.
Wow.
Bing, bang, boom. Did about a month of no piss, no smoke and all that stuff. Everything back better.
Oh, far out.
Hey, yeah, that was crazy. I sucked the green whistle like a dick. It was fucking awesome.
Yeah. Yeah, that's perfect. Yeah, that's perfect.
It was heaps rough. Like,
wow.
You kind of get them times, and like I was kind of going through shit with my misso as well, and the place we were at was a bit I know it was pretty cool, but then what actually had to happen? I did score a job. It was a pretty low paying warehouse job, pretty puss job, but because I was kind of going through shit with the misso at the time, I ended up hanging out with all the Cleveland boys heaps, and they I swear they had open arms. Like I've never felt so like kind of lucky to have a couple legends really just let me hang out as much as I wanted, just like they had like we talked shit on heaps of people, and I just like has had this feeling they weren't talking shit on me. Like, they definitely weren't talking any shit on me. Like, and it was fucking awesome, like really get a good group of friends, which was tough for me coming from like high school and stuff where not everyone stopped riding bikes, got cars, did all this other shit. And they like my school friends really made it feel like really hard to hang out and like didn't feel like they wanted to. So having that was fucking beautiful, and like they really picked me up. And I was still, once the wrist got good, like definitely turned into an absolute piss wreck, and we had so much fun. But like a lot of those clips still even show in like my new S&M video and stuff where like I remember just being like, Tim, like make sure you put all those Cleveland clips in, because it was like off the Cleve cam, which was pretty cool. And I was like, I really want that to just like to go out. Like that was an awesome time where he's like really did put it in for me.
Yeah.
Sick,
that
like,
video is sick, real sick. By the way, it's on the. I just brought it up now on the site here. Yeah, if you haven't watched it, bloody break the internet that thing. But
have a geese.
Have a geese.
Had more views than. I viewed other things. It's crazy.
Yeah,
couldn't believe it.
Definitely.
The feedback on that was epic. Like,
yeah, there's some tricks in there that are off the charts.
Yeah, it was pretty much that was like 3 years. It was pretty much like 3 years of not even necessarily trying, just filming a bunch of stuff. Like, and then I just remember being like, fuck, I really got to put something out. Like, it's been a while. Like S&M give me a bunch of gear, and it's like the best company in the fucking world, so it's like I really should put something out. And then I was real lucky that Tim filmed everything epic, and it turned out insane. Like,
yeah, that's sick, man.
Something that really like for people out there trying to film a video feeling like weird or feeling like a dick trying to do it, like that's memories. Like put your memories down.
Yeah.
Like we all smack our heads enough that we forget enough shit. At least I can watch a clip and I can remember like a whole week nearly out of that. Like it's not necessarily just its clip that I get to remember. Like that puts all my memories in a bank, and I'm pretty happy to have them. Like pretty rad.
Yeah, that's a good point, dude. Because I feel like, I don't know if it sounds narcissistic or what, but I feel like it's enjoyable to watch your old video parts back. Like I have the same thing. Like I can remember. It allows me to go back to that moment as if it was yesterday. You know what I mean?
Fully.
And that's pretty exciting, because some of the things you'd never do again. I mean, some of the things you've probably grown from and gotten better at riding, but it's pretty exciting to go back and
that's
watch
the
that
excitement
sort of
of
stuff.
BMX.
Yeah, that's
like you grow and change,
exactly
you chop and change
right.
the whole time. Like like fuck the amount of stupid doinks I do on half these axles and shit on my bike now that like never interests me at all. Like street to me was just pissed me off, because every time I put pegs on, I'd blow my chain to bits because I didn't have a hub guard, because we didn't have many hub guards for anything back in the day. Like, and saying that, I did have Carl Bensman the damn dude modify a hub guard to fit over my 12-tooth driver so I could run pegs.
Really?
But the only problem was that the sprocket being so big that the only thing I really wanted to do was double peg runs down big fucking rails. Like, that was the only trick I really wanted to do with the pegs. And unfortunately, doing a double peg run with a 36 to 39 tooth sprocket just smacks the sprocket. So, like, I guess I was always used to kind of grinding axles, which means I get real close to, like, I'd be grinding, like, the far inside of my peg as I'd hop onto stuff. Like, nearly let your wheels hit something and then drop latch on sort of and grind away.
Yeah.
So it's like every time it just would be a smack sprocket.
Yeah, yeah.
And
Yeah, makes sense.
Get over bending sprockets and snapping chains.
That's exactly. Yeah.
But,
Dude,
hey, switch it up, start grinding everything on the opposite, like, it's pretty good fun.
Yeah, that was a trip out when we went riding just yesterday.
Yeah, yep.
And I was like, hang on, am I setting up camera in the right side? I swear to God, you're right foot forward.
Well, it's weird, even like just
Oppo.
if I were to go for a rail and do a little tooth noise, make the chink on a tooth, I'm still pretty much pushed for doing it opposite.
Yeah, right.
Which is weird. Like, you think that I'd be naturally like better at doing it the regular way, but I think just everything now just goes to the left, just due to saving the drive side, keeping that sprocket straight.
Yeah. Yeah, that's cool, man.
But epic fun. You just get to make heaps of grind noises. Otherwise, the through the jumps and the ka-chink, bonk, gang, gang, and then, the old chain slapping something middle, and it's pretty good. Like.
Yeah. Yeah. And you recently, have you made an announcement yet?
No, I haven't, but let's fucking do it.
Can we do it?
Yeah, fucking know. So I now ride for Eclat, which is a German parts company, which I'm fucking psyched on because, to be honest, I've ridden Eclat parts in the past, just being a bit available through BMX International, who have pretty much helped me out since a kid, which is a distro, which is then going back to it just felt epic. Like, I ain't making money off any of my sponsors, but fuck, man, when I get to 30, I want to have enough spare parts so I don't need to get another bike again. Like,
yeah,
I'll just be able to keep running all this, like everything, like. Between S&M and Eclat, everything's bomb-proof, built to last. Like,
yeah, that's sick, man.
It's just gonna be unreal. Like,
yeah, I'm frothing for you. Definitely, cool fit, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty exciting, and really, one day hopefully I get to go over there and meet some dudes. Like, now the world's going a bit more sane.
I know.
Pretty cool. Like,
yeah, that's what I reckon. It'd be sick.
But once again, ride like a fucking ox, build more shit than everyone else. They're going to have to want to meet me, They're going to have to bring me over there some way or shape or form, Like,
you're
fucking
exactly
kids
right.
ride like a fucking ox. Like, it's going to keep you going.
Yeah, man. I agree with that totally. Like, I feel like there's a few people in Australian BMX, and I said this to you the other day, but there's a few people that I feel like if you wanted to do whatever, and it, not that being pro rider is the be all and end all at all, but like you're definitely one of the dudes that I could see, like, that S&M video is off its fucking head, like it's off its brain. And then we went riding yesterday in the essentially freezing, like legitimately freezing cold weather, and you were in shorts. You were in shorts. That were like,
fucking from
if
Queensland.
they were cut any shorter, you'd see the bottom of his pockets. Like,
yeah, I know. Well, you actually see me jocks most of the time. My jocks are longer than that.
Yeah, that's.
I like to wear two jocks. One's just a jean set.
But like, I don't know. I kind of got a big thing going where I'd love to see the dudes that I know could make it and the age that they're at. Like it would be sick to see something happen. So who knows?
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Not saying anyone has to do it, companies wise.
Nah, do it, fellas. Bone did it for me here. Take me to Germany, take me to America. Do whatever you just want. I don't care. I'm just gonna ride when I get there. Like,
he'll go there and build whatever you want to see and put on a jam.
Yeah, hopefully, fucking oath. That was like
and
Sydney.
Then win
man.
the
Sydney
best trick out of it.
Because we were just spending time in Sydney, and I was like, fuck, man, let's do a 5-dock jam. They're not doing the Vans Bowl Comp there this year. Like, fuck the Vans Bowl Comp. I never get to ride that anyway. You know what I mean? It's like, feel unsure about it. So I was like, let's put on the old classic 5-dock jam. And pretty much, because like everywhere that, like the whole new skate park there used to just be a dirt mound. Kind of like, like how Arendelle used to be just all jumps and shit. That was a dirt mound with all the little snake run around it. So we just built the snake run extension out of the bank where they used to build the dirt landing. And then you could jump through the bowl, which made it into 2 jumps in a row. And then after the 2 jumps in a row, you'd bomb the hill and you could do the long jump, which was kind of half shark finny off like next to this tree. And it was just the coolest jam because, yeah, you'd fucking look over, you see Chaggy and Ben just like blasting the fuck out of the bowl. But then you'd still catch some blokes in the old bowl having a rip. Like everyone got to just, like, it was just like we organised enough cunts to come riding. But Sydney, like, especially felt like everyone just doesn't mind staying in their own little pocket because it's fucked for traffic. Good luck getting anywhere. But yeah, no, that was awesome. You know, like I always happily put on a jam anywhere because somehow I managed to conjure enough people to have a rip a day for whoever turns up. Like,
yeah. And
yeah, the building part of it, like fuck, it could be a month, it could be 2 days. Don't know how long it's going to take you, but it's going to be a good day when it gets there. Like,
the Brizzy scene. I don't know if it's the same in the with Brizzy, but in Sydney it seems like that traffic thing is a real tough one for keeping the scene together. You know what I mean? For how big it is, I'm sure that there's way more riders in like that greater Sydney area than in Canberra.
There are heaps of riders, especially down to the going up to especially Newcastle and shit.
But
there's so much happening, but it just feels really tough to just make everyone hang a bit, you know? And it's like, well, fuck, man, I don't want to drive 2 hours, 30 Ks.
Yeah,
you know? Like, that's
for
fucking
sure.
bullshit.
Is it like that in Brisbane?
No. Not at all.
Not
like,
as much.
No, everyone's pretty keen to ride because we don't actually have that as many parks as Sydney. Like,
yeah, sure.
Like we do have parks, but like you don't want to go ride with cunts from the coast, and then like, and Sunny Coast is mad. Go ride with the Sunny Coast Bulldogs is fucking epic, but it's like gonna take you still like 2 hours to get up there.
Yeah, sure.
So you still go ride everything, but like man, like one of my favorite parks in Brisbane is Rock Lee, and like if you've seen anything about the Rock Lee Jam, it's like the shittest skate park ever. Like fucking terrible. But if you don't use your head, it's the shittest skate park ever. Yeah. Like, you know, just the idea of like, I've probably done more tricks than anyone else. And it's only because I've just had to sit there trying to figure them out for so long. And it was also on the way to work for a fair while, so I'd be riding out like 6 a.m. a bunch and shit. Like,
oh yeah, cool.
Yeah, did the ride there, and then I had like a few different war rides kind of on the way to work. And that was when the van ran out of Red Joe, bit of 2019 sort of vibe shit. Which was kind of like mad because it really did bring me back to just riding around the heaps, which is just like the most epic shit that Weeks ever always did. Like Weeks just rode fucking everywhere, and it was just like really nearly drilled it into me. Like we can just do that too, and like you have so much fun.
Pretty
like,
pure.
Just cruising, cruising. Like, and you actually have to ride all the spots you like cruise past in your car because you're like, I'm here. I can just put my phone down. We're done. We're ready to go.
Yeah, for sure. Like,
so much fun.
Yeah, it's a cool. Like it sounds like it went. I mean, no Red Joe in the van obviously sucks, but it's kind of sick that you found a positive out of it. You know what I mean? Like once you start riding around, you're like, fuck.
Well, work was that close. Like I've never had always had work so close. So having the work so close it was awesome. I remember having my work Christmas party and having to sling a couple 6-packs in plastic bags and try and get it 10 Ks against the wind to the Cleveland house because I knew that the boys would love a couple of these beers and I was completely done from the party anyway. I remember getting there, and then that's pretty much when I passed out under the pool table and they shaved a mullet into my head. And I had to get Muzz to sort it out in the morning because it looked pretty shitty outside. But yeah, definitely some of the best times ever at that Fairfield house. Like, just BMX is hell. Like that skate park jam had a ramp for a month. Like the most epic backyard pallet sketchy shit you've ever seen. Like everyone put in too. Like Mace did build a lot, and they'll definitely bring a lot of wood in. But man, I made the damn blood dome, which was just this stupid little U pipe in the corner between 2 other things that like. It was just like a challenge itself getting through it. If someone could do anything else besides get through it, you win. You win the blood dome, you know. Like, and it was epic. But yeah, that whole skate park stayed there for a month before real estate blew up. And then, a few months later, we start making the hungy pit for the boys because Pa and Rewa don't mind a hungy every now and again by the sounds of it. And they said they were going to put it on, so we dug a hole which turned into a takeoff. And then we always thought, maybe a pool for the hungy pit would be pretty mad. I would dig a pool too while we're at it. And the pool wasn't necessarily a big pool. It's probably the size of this thing, but the amount of dirt we got out of that turned into a borderline proper jump. Yeah. And then we realised there was enough room from the top, and that turned into the sickest day ever. We got Vinny B over to back it and everything. He was just riding fares, got him over, hung out for 2 weeks straight after that, poor bastard. And then, But then, then the rail jam was even gnarlier because that was like one day. Went like skate park a week, skate park a month, dirt jump a week, rail jam like 8 hours.
And this is all at the one house, eh?
All at the one rental, man. It
Yeah,
was fucking
rental
insane.
house, yeah,
so
far
insane. Like, yeah, they did get the boot, but
Wait, so
in the end,
what did you say lasted the longest? What was the
the
longest?
skate park.
So they had
the
a skate
park
park
itself took super long just to build because it was just like so much wood through it. Where then the jump didn't take me too long. So it's fucking jump. And
right.
then the rail was nuts because it was actually insane. We had like some pretty big dog rail dudes that could really do some tricks like GMID Street. All the dudes were just killing it. Tim himself too. And then we pretty much, I think we started putting it up. It wasn't completely finished. We went street riding, and then we pretty much D Street gets a call from the real estate saying you have to pull this shit down. If you don't pull it down, you're gone. And he's pretty good with his words. You know, he's a bit of a wordsmith. So he managed to hustle the real estate enough for us to keep the rail till the afternoon, and then we pull it down. And holy shit, man! Like Tim made like a 6-minute video out of the amount of shit that happened. Like, got to vomit on Tiny's bike and everything, and like that was probably like my fourth fucking rail at the time. Like, scary as hell off a roof.
It's so funny that they knew they were keeping such a close eye on that house that the rail only lasted one day.
Dude, you could see it from the Coles.
Yeah,
and then from
right.
the Coles you could
Holy
see Fairfield Skate Park. Like,
yeah,
it was just super public. Like, if you really wanted to come and have a geeze, you really could. If you want to have a rubberneck, check out what's going on. Which you did. Like, even the neighbours were funny as they were just young lads that like to party also. So they'd just jump on their cars or whatever and be able to have a gawk.
Yeah, sure.
It was pretty cool.
So like you're building a lot of stuff, right? And you continue to.
Yeah.
Where's the inspiration coming from for building stuff?
Everything, bikes.
Just what BMX is to
whatever
you.
this seems like would fit well there.
Yeah,
Like,
sure.
I'll put that there. Because I guess, like, what else are you going to put in that spot? Like, saying that, the jumps things is different. Like, jumps very creative for me, nearly a borderline set of art form, you know? Like, that Stegosaurus roller I got to build at Boomers was like I kind of put it there because that's what seemed like I kind of had to be in that spot. Because you're nearly traveling back uphill for a smidge and you come off a big boot. And then that just turned into probably one of my most favorite things I've ever built. Just like, you could manual through it, you could nosy through it, you could jump it, you could tire slide it, you could table it, and it's a fucking roller. Slash a berm, slash, like, I don't know. And that was just something that felt like had to be there to turn you into whatever the next jump was. Like, you're not always necessarily, like, we can all pretty much build the same takeoff a few times in a row and make a few jumps in a row, turning everything into a box jump. But, like, we don't want to do that. Like, we want a bunch of different stuff, bunch of different feelings.
Yeah.
Like, I don't know. That's an interesting one. I guess just seeing everything, you know, online, magazines, anything that we ever had, just like, you know, you see Eastside hip, like the amount of people that have replicated a baby version of it or like tried to build something to it just because it's balls to the walls, most badass thing you've ever seen. Like, I haven't built one of them. I haven't had a spot for it, but when I find a spot for it, I want to build a big ass left hip that goes to there and then into a hill that doesn't take as much as it really expected, you know?
Yeah. So you just pretty much just always inspired by things, and you're like, fuck, if it's not here, I'm just gonna.
If I haven't built it, I still want to do it. Like, until I built it and know how it rides and how it worked out. Like, I guess, it's got to get built first. Hey,
that makes sense.
Don't know until you know.
Yeah,
but I don't know.
Just completely hyped on making stuff happen in your own.
Well, to be
backyard.
honest, a lot of the time I do lots of mods through places, from Snakewoods to fucking Tamworth to even a lot of Boomers was mods. Like, most of the time it's making it all work better. Yeah. Because, like, you know, sometimes people build stuff and it's like, it's fun, we can all jump it and stuff, but you straighten it up, you build that up a bit, you know that needs a bit more here, and then all of a sudden it's just like, whoa, yeah, like, I don't have any faults in it for myself personally. I'm psyched. Like, that's a good line. Sure. That's a good whatever the hell it is. Like, yeah,
it's just interesting to see, you know, you always doing, like, you're not just the runner jam. Like we were watching that. What's that park called? Runaway Bay. Is that
Yeah,
with
Runaway
the,
Bay, yeah.
The land. The
Shout
big
out to
wall?
my girlfriend Sarah, by the way, for making that shit happen. Because yeah, she hustled a bunch of wood as well for that, and that was a fucking cool day. That was rock and roll tour props as shit. Like,
Yeah.
you don't get that shit twice. You know what? No, I don't want to ever put a jam on there again for no reason besides we did it good the first time. Right.
But you know what I mean? Like that park looks perfectly good to just run a jam as it is,
Mm-hmm.
and you're like, no, we got to build stuff. You know what I mean?
Well,
Like,
you watch the Vans Bowl Comp at Sydney, and they still build a bunch of random shit that people didn't even have to hit to do the best run that they could have. But
yeah,
like that was, to me, that wall ride was just like, everyone wants to do that wall ride. You've seen like so many cunts just fucking hit that crazy ass thing that's like fully like a story high, come back into the bowl, and like it's a perfect crazy wall ride. But to do it takes a lot of courage and balls.
yeah,
So I just built it to the ground, made it so everyone could just, if they wanted to, they could start at the bottom and work their way up, which is funny enough, I did. And then by the end of the day, we're wall riding the bit that is up the top, where once I finish the jam and pull the wall ride down, we can do that whenever we want. We can go back to Runaway Bay and wall ride the top now, because we know how much speed it takes, we know how much effort it takes to do it.
Yeah,
And then we built a fly out landing, because I wanted a bunch of kids to be able to jump some shit, / I wanted someone to do a damn backy.
yeah,
Because
yeah.
like, I ain't backing the spine. I could have nearly backied the backy jump, but that was awesome with so many kids. Like it was pretty much a fly out, like a
Yeah.
gimmicky fly outy landing, and just like, but it still made everyone just do all the tricks that they could do over it. Like
Yeah.
it, like, you know, if you say fly out session, everyone do a fly out. Let's see your best fly outs. No one's gonna fucking do shit. You got a landing that's kind of just safe enough to land through and make it feel like you're not just like smashing your wrists and ankles. They're gonna just fucking send it, and they
Yeah.
did, man. Like the amount of shit that happened over that was insane, like super insane. Then we chucked the bank in for good measure to just help the speed of the park and whatnot. Chuck in a couple of rad bands, a couple of good sponsors, like best day ever for some people,
Yeah.
maybe, you know, like
Yeah.
it was a real good one for me. Like,
Yeah. Man, I love that about what you do, dude. Like, honestly, I think it's so sick that, you know, it's pretty contagious when you're doing the jams and things like that, which you seem to, I'm going to call it, you probably run more jams than anyone in Australia, and you're doing it here, there, and everywhere. You're always doing things.
well,
But
yeah.
then not only that, you aren't just content with being like, let's just rock up to Runaway Bay Skate Park and jams on.
Yeah,
You know, you're like, you know, it'd be really cool, and it just comes from being so psyched about
yeah.
BMX, and you just, it's pretty contagious. You know what I mean? Like
yeah.
you-
Well,
you're-
if like, we can all go ride that skate park whenever we want, and it's going to be the same.
yeah,
There's one day we got to have all these extensions, and that everyone's not going to be able to forget / they're going to miss.
yeah,
You know what I mean? Like, fuck, imagine if I was there all the time. That'd have been cool, you know? Like, but it
Yeah.
ain't. And you know what? We all got to ride that one day. We did a bunch of tricks at that skate park. We're never going to do it again because there's none of that shit's back there,
yeah,
unless we want to make another one, which, you
Mhm.
know, can always still happen. But, yeah, no, I like that idea, you know? You get to
Yeah.
create a day that is a memory that, you know, like, you know, you're not going to get twice. Like,
yeah. No, that's cool, man.
It's good way to live, I reckon. Like,
It's
pack them memories in.
Pack the
'em
memories in,
Fucking pack
dude.
them in to the point that they're fucking going out the window. You got some dude tell you about some day that you're like, actually, I have no idea about that. And he's like, nah, it was you. He's like, it fucking was you. And you're like, I bet it was. Yeah, righto. And then there's other times that people will be like, remember that day? And you go, oh, that was epic. I fully forgot about that. Like, sickest shit ever.
man.
Like, can go so many ways. Like, I guess, like, to be honest, like, yeah, I had one proper head knock that really dusted me too, which was actually, like, pretty sure it was early 2019. But, like, that just put me in a space where I felt like I've had 3 to 4 beers as I woke up in the morning. And I
Yeah.
didn't know if that ever actually healed or I just got used to it. You know?
Yeah, right.
And, like, fuck, people smash their heads so much, knock themselves out so much. The poor bastards. Like, let's at least chuck some shit on some cameras and we'll watch this shit when we go home on our big ass flat screens that curve and shit now. Like, because we're in the future, you know?
So it's all memories. It's all about making memories.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's sick, man.
Because, like, I can't remember how many dollars I've had, but I can remember how many jams. Well, no, but we can at least remember a bunch of jams we've had,
yeah.
you know?
It's worth to live by.
Yeah, pretty much.
It's worth to live by.
It's a good way to do it, that's all.
Jonny Mackellar, we should finish this up.
Because we got the state of origin. Queensland's going to smoke up them New South Wales boys. We'll get Munster in there. We'll sort them out. hey, oi, Denny, oi.
That's the real reason why we got to finish this up is because the state of origin's on.
Yeah, true.
And we got a Queenslander in the house, and it's so funny.
Yeah.
He's been talking about. He looks like he's all BMX, but really he's all rugby league.
That's right. You know, I did 2 years. I did one in A grade, one in D grade. You know what? In D grade, I killed it, man. I fucking killed it.
Sneak into the shot.
Yeah. Oh hell yeah. Where is it?
Just here.
Thanks,
Yeah,
Dice.
no
It's been
worries,
awesome.
man.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for everyone watching. Please let us know if you've got any questions about anything, if you'd like to see anything on the podcast. Stoked to have you here, Johnny.
Yeah, cheers.
And like, subscribe, all that jazz. Appreciate you. And see you next time.